Hello everyone, welcome to this special session on Python exam preparation for CBSE Class 12 Information Practices. In today's video, we will dive deep into some of the most important past year questions covering topics like Pandas aggregation, Matplotlib visualization, and general Python programming that is tested regularly in your exam, and that is also important for many of your data science and machine learning related areas. Whether you are revising or just starting your prep, this video will help you strengthen your concepts and approach these questions with confidence. So let us get started. Uh, the paper that you are seeing, uh, this is taken from your 2023, 2023, and in this what we have done is we have taken all your uh, Python related questions. Also, what I have done is some of your SQL and Python related questions are interchanged over the year as as you find when you analyze your last several year question paper. So in some of the cases, I have taken the same table and same question that has been asked for SQL related things, but kind of changed it, and we have provided detail and solution that how that can be done using Python aggregation, primarily using Pandas. So typically, as you know, your question across your 3-4 sections in your paper could be from 1 marks to 2 marks to 5 marks, and some of your 1 mark questions are mostly MCQs. So let's get started with this one. What I will advise is, for many of these, I have done the groundwork where we have actually kind of made this available in this notebook. By the way, this will be provided with the uh, video in your description. So you can actually check this link, and you can actually use this for your exercise as well. So best way of practicing this will be you either take questions from here, or you actually take a printout of your last year question, or go through the CBSE website and open the 2023 question paper. Go to this question number, say for example 10th here, right? Read it out and try and solve it, and then again play the video, and then again go for the solution, and then repeat that process. If you just see the solution, that will not help you as much, because there has been, as you see through your syllabus across your class 11 and your 12 syllabus, lot of syntax and specific Python and Pandas specific routines, functionalities, function APIs have been talked about, and they are tested also. The best way of remembering them will be kind of practicing it in a notebook. Best way of making yourself comfortable will be practicing offline on your notebook, just to write the final answer. So let's get started. What these three lines are. So in the first line, it is importing pandas as PD, right? So very standard import pandas as PD. In the very second line, it is creating a data frame, right? If you see the line here, second line we are talking about. So df is PD dot data frame, and then it is passing bunch of fruit name, right? Apple, banana, orange, grapes, and guava. So what your data frame will be? Your data from frame will be one column, right? Where column name is not specified yet. So by default, it will be zeroth. They start with 0 as the first one. Here, it is actually asking you for data frame, uh, and basically this is an indexing related question, right? So it is asking you indexing and slicing, right? It is so basically it will be only if you see, it is just it has provided 2 semicolon 4 and then semicolon 2, right? If you remember from your notebook, uh, I am repeatedly emphasizing These are your a start, a stop, and a step, right? So 2 is your starting point, 4 is your stop. So it will start at second index, it will stop at 4, and then the steps. It means that the increment that it will make will be uh, plus 2 every time, right? Another thing that you need to keep in mind is your starting index is 0. So when it is talking about 2, it means what? In your list, it will be orange, right? 0, 1, and 2. So apple is 0, banana is 1, orange is 2. It will start at 2, it will go till 4 in a with every at every step increasing it by 2. So after 2, what it will be? It will be fourth, right? So 2 plus 2 fourth, but the last index is always excluded in position based indexing. It means that 4 will not be included. So in that case, it will only give you your current answer, which is at positional index 2, and based on your starting at 0, it is orange, right? So that way, the answer that you see here will be B. We can actually execute it, the code that I have written here, and we can actually look at the output. If we see the 2 orange, right, and 0 column, so verified also, right, 1 marks done. What if you're actually having a bit of discomfort with this question, I'll again recommend opening your notes, or going to the relevant video and focusing that how indexing works in Pandas, right? uh, Start, stop, step, I think I'm repeating about it for so many videos. Only additional thing that you need to know is when it is about positional indexing, uh, or location, your non-location based indexing, then your last index will be excluded and your counting will start at 0. As long as you keep that in mind, it is just about doing the simple arithmetic and then looking at that particular index in your data set. What is the next question? Which of the following is a one-dimensional array containing a sequence of values in Python? What is that? Relation? No. Data frame is not necessarily one-dimensional, right? Data frame is more like two-dimensional, where you can have multiple rows, column combination. A square? No. So you are left with series. That is the correct answer. So for 11, it is series. That is series. In Python pandas, head n method returns the first n members of the series. What is the default value of n? Not a very great question to test on, but you should keep in mind we have been talking about it. If you don't provide any number to n, that will be 5, right? So if you want to test it, you can actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anyway, this data frame is having 5, so you can do head, right? And you don't specify anything, it will be so if you see, it is printing everything, right? But if you add here Java and then say that others, right? Now in this case also you'll be actually printed the first 5. So by default, it is verified that n is nothing but 5. I'll always encourage you to practice offline and then actually recheck online, right, in a notebook, if you want to learn it in best way. 18th is about assertion and regions, where actually you have to choose your option based on A, B, C, D, where both assertion and region is right, then A, and then the combination of one is right, another is wrong, versus both are wrong, which will be D, right? And accordingly, you can look at your question paper. There are multiple questions that I have chosen only your Python one. So in order to be able to use Python's data visualization library, we need to import the PyPlot module from Matplotlib library. Correct? A is correct. Assertion is correct. Reason is PyPlot module houses a variety of functions required to create and customize charts. So that is also correct. In this particular case, your option will be A, where you say that assertion and region both are correct. The next question is, what will be the output of the following code? Import pandas as pd, s1 is equal to pd dot series, data is 17, and then it is saying s2 is equal to pd dot series, and it is adding s1 plus s1, and then it is saying printing s2. So hope you remember when we are talking about mathematical manipulation around series, right? And what happens in mathematical manipulation and series, you can, by just using simple operators, you can do plus, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, other numeric operations. So here you are simply adding s1 to s1, right? So when you do s1 plus s1, what will happen at each of these places, since your data is 1 7, right? So their respective items, right, will be added. So you'll be eventually be having what? You are having S1 as 1, you are having S2 as 7. So at each of these places they'll be duplicated. 1 plus 1, 2, 7 plus 7, 14, right? You can see this in output as well. So again, you can make yourself comfortable, right? Check with several, so everything, all kind of values are supported, right? If you do S1 plus 3, then everybody is at 3, right? If you do S1 into 2, then what will happen? It will everywhere it will multiply those items individually, right? Okay, we'll keep it at plus only. So just pure play game of knowing. Now this is a question where you are actually going to be tested on your uh, knowledge about manipulation of data frame, and this is going to be, I think, 3 marks question, so one per. Let's first walk through it and then we'll actually look at the code. So this is a table where you have been given name Rohit, Mohit, Raman and Aditya, and you have been given percentile 95, 76, 98, 47, right? It is saying that add a new column grade to the data frame having values A, B, A, C. How you can get it done? So say if you have created a data frame out of this table for name and percentile in whatever convention that you are comfortable, we have talked about so many, right? Dictionary based approach, list of list based approach, uh, you know, and then several others. I think the one that should work best for you here, in my opinion, is you create a dictionary where you are having a key as a row name and a list of items as your those values, right? So you could have name as a key and then Rohit, Mohit, in a list. You can have percentile as a key and then 95, 76, etc. is in a list, right? So that will help you create it. And then once done, say if you are actually assigning it to a variable df, then you can actually to df, you can create a column by calling df and then in a bracket notation grade, uh, a square bracket close, and there you can assign values in a list, in single quote or comma ABAC. So now you have got grade. Then add a new row where name is Arti with percentile as 92 and grade as A. How you can get it done? You can simply add. So how you can get it done? You know the length of the data frame, right? So at the length of data frame -1, at that location you can say that df.ilog, for positional based location ilog. Then you provide length of df -1 and there you assign the value RT and 92 and grade A, RT92A, and then display the top 3 rows. What you have to do? Simply call df dot head in bracket n is equal to 3, and then you can print the whole thing, right? So if you see, we have done the same. We have actually assigned your data using a key value pair just to save time. Once your data frame is done, you can actually have a look at your data set, right? And uh, then, so this is how your original data set is printed. And then to assign, what you can do at your ith location, right, where you can take length of df, and as you know, length of df is 1 base, right? So do -1, and there you can simply assign RT, right? Then your second value is 92 and your grade is A, right? uh, you already saw what it was printing. uh, then you can actually print your df again, right? And if you see, there is now an entry for uh, Arti. right, as you can see in the next one. And then if you only want to say actually your top three items, you can simply call print of head of three, right? Now the next question is consider the following graph. Write the Python code to plot it. So you have a table of class and marks. So 7, 8, 9, 10. So it is actually from class 7 to 12. And then for each of these classes, you have been given some marks, right? Now to print it, it is asking for a line graph, right? And the line graph, uh, what will happen? It is asking your class to be on x-axis, average marks to be on y-axis, and then it is asking for your um, title, right? Average result of class, so in this row, right? That you see to be set to this, right? So what is the best way of doing it? Again, if you want here, right? Um, first thing that the way you can do is you can have your data, right? Um, just follow with me. So first thing is about your class, right? In this class, what do you want to do? You want to provide your marks, which is going. The class is going to be a class rate, right? So 7, uh, and then till 12, right? What will be the alternate way that you can think of? You can actually give a range based, initialization, right? You got your class. The second thing is you get your marks, right? And your marks here is as you see in table, right? So you are having 83, that you can provide in a list 83. These notations are very, very important. You have to practice it. 83, then you have 75, then you have 81, uh, then you have 72, then you have 88, then you have 86, right? Now once your data is there, what you can do? You can get your data frame created by pd dot data frame, right? And what you can pass here, your data, right? Then you can print your df and see the result. It is saying invalid syntax. Let's check for what is the invalid syntax, because this comma is missing here. Okay. Data frame, right? Uh, now you got your data frame. So from here on, there could be several ways of printing it, right? Uh, one could be you want to print a line, right? So that you can simply do by on the data frame, right? You can simply call plot, and there you can say that what is your x-axis here? Your x-axis is going to be uh, your uh, df, your data frame, and there you have columns, right, which are class. So your x is class, your y is marks, right? Marks, and then what you are having, your x and y is done. uh, Title. So title that is assuming is uh, average result of class 7 to 12, right? Average result of class 7 till 12, and then it is saying that on x-axis, right? So your x level is class, right? Your x level is class, and your y level is what? Your y level is average marks scored. Average marks scored, right? And then you are, of course, so another thing that you have to do here whenever you start a new exercise is you import your pandas as PD, and then you import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, right? And here if you want you can simply call your plt dot show through this one. Okay, let's look at some of the error. None of the index are in the columns. None of the index uh, so whenever you are having in your when you are actually in your this, right? uh, so, so let's look at what is the error it is saying. X is equal to df data x abc series and then indexer, right? Then not in index, sorry. Mhm. Just we are looking for that why. Okay. We are already calling on df.plt, right? So when we are calling on df.plt, then df is not. So you have to just specify the column name. I think you should practice with one of these consistently, right? So you got it, okay? The same exact that you are having here, this particular and this particular, right? The typo that we are doing is, since we are calling this on data frame, right? So then we don't have to do it this way. The other way of doing it is, if you don't want to use data frame dot plot, um, then in that case you can simply call your plt dot plot, right? And there you can actually specify what your data are, right? So you are having df and your x value is columns, okay? Class. Then now so here you have to actually do them manually, right? And then you are having your data frame, and then you are having the second value of your marks, right? uh, and from there on, some of the things like your title, etc., right? So we can copy from here, right? So your title, etc., has to be exactly provided on the separate line. That's the only difference. The data frame API is takes it automatically. So x dot label class, y dot label average marks, okay, and then you have plt dot y level. So basically, what is being tested here is just your basic um, familiarity with different aspect of this matplotlib features, right? And we had actually a separate video on these, right? So hopefully, if you see a small typos, you can correct it. Okay. So you can get the same value, same result by directly operating on your PLT. Now you might be asking that uh, why we are not specifying our uh, by default anyway line is there, so that's the reason we are not specifying. Okay, so this was a 5 marks question, and all that you are tested is getting your data in order, and then either using data frame API like df.plot or using plt.plot directly providing data. Okay, so same code below to test it. Now the second way, write a Python code, right, to draw the following bar graph representing the average marks secured by each student in term 2 exam. So everything is same. Uh, as you see, what they are asking is on level X, they are asking for student names, and on Y, they are asking for average marks, right? So just to test it, even the same one you can check here, right? So the only thing that you have to do is, you have to call the appropriate API. So in this case, it is bar. If you do bar, you already get that, right? So everything else is just the same. And the example that we are being tested here, the previous question, line is supported by. Okay, cool. So for this particular one, you can see your code here. We have done it actually both using plt.bar as well as we have done it using df.plot. df.plot is little nice because legend and all is given, but if you want, you can add your legend here as well, right? So you can actually give your color code and other things and then have your legend. So what you needed to remember in this case that you have to call plt.bar, right? For bar graphs, what the syntax? That's the only thing that you need to remember. Another 5 mark question that was in part 2R. Let's look at another data frame question where you have been given employee ID, employee name, in shorthand EID, ename, department, and salary. And what it is asking is write Python statement for the data frame employee to remove the column salary. How you can remove column salary? You can call data frame dot drop, right? And then in the square bracket, you can provide which column salary is here. To remove the row, so you can again remove the row by a simple way. You can simply call df dot drop, and then you can provide the index, right, corresponding to this fourth one, right? So either of that will work. And then saving to certain file, what you have to call, simply call data frame dot to csv, right? And then that is done. Provide the path, and if it is asking for index is equal to false and all of that, you can get it done. Or write a Python script to display the new salary. So they have missed something where they are saying that adding the salary by 5,000, right? So you can look at increasing the salary by 5,000, and then how you can increase the salary by 5,000? You can update, right? Salary is equal to salary plus 5,000. For everything here, right? So you can actually have a statement for that, and then it is simply saying that print it into question, right? So we'll just quickly, since it is just syntax check, we'll just have a look at it. In the first part, what we have done is we have simply created your data frame, right? Your data by passing your EID, employee name, department, and salary as key, and then values as list, right? The way it is there in your data set. So you had actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for EID, right? If you are following me by mouse movement. Employee name John, Ria, Sobit, Aditya, whatever. Department IT marketing admin, and salary 50,000, 45,000, 52,000, etc., etc. Right? So we are using the same, and we have got our data clear here. Then we have got our data frame by calling pd.dataframe data, right? Then for deleting salary, just call df.drop as you are saying, since it is simple, syntax check. We are not again coding it, with you, but you can actually attempt it, and then you provide columns equal to whatever, and then when you want to remove an index, you call df.index, provide the index number, and then simply say df.drop. And to write it to CSV, df to CSV, right? Provide the file name, index is equal to false by default, and then you have print, right? So you can check it right after everything. So print um, data frame post salary, right? And then you can actually print df print data frame post index for removal, and then you can have your data frame, and then finally your others one, right? So if you see, right, so you don't have salary anymore, and then the fourth one is not there here, right? Correct. To have your salary updated, what we have done, we have simply added 5,000 to all your salary, right? So this is the only thing that you need to be aware of, right? Just I'll show it to you. The other things are exactly the same. So you have created it. So this is your data frame, right? EID, ename, and department. So you can actually again get it created, right? Now you got your salary back. It is saying that increment salary, increase your salary, right? If you want to increase your salary by whatever amount, you can simply write it here, right? And then you can print your data frame. So all the salary has been increased by 5, right? If you are not comfortable with plus is equal to, then you can simply say equal to, and then copy paste this, right? So you are going to call, okay, great. Okay, so this is the course that was actually for SQL, and we'll see that how we can get it done using Python. So if you look at, you have been given admin name, class, optional, and marks, right? And let us try it together. The first question that you have is display the total marks secured by students of each class. How you'll get it? So if you see there are students of class 10th and students of class 11, right? And how you'll get the total marks by summing it up. And how you can actually get it, sum it up by class, you have to use group by. So we'll do one thing, we'll just take the part where we have used code to um, your okay. So let us get our data set created. Okay, so this is your class, right? Admin name, class, optional, and marks. Now your first query is A, right? Display the total marks secured by a student of each class. How you can get it done? So you can simply, what you have to do for that, on your data frame, you have to call group by, right? And group by will work on which column? Class, because it is saying that by class, right? And then which part of it you want to aggregate? Marks, right? So on marks, you call your aggregate function. And what aggregate function we are going to use? Sum. That's it. If is it for class 10 175, for class 11 267. Hope you are able to see this output here. Otherwise, I can actually increase this. Yeah. The second one is display the average marks secured by the student of IP optional subject. So of IP optional, how you can get it done? So in this case, what you have to do? Uh, you have to group by colon. It is asking for average marks, right? Okay. So your average marks will happen on this, right? And then you are having your marks here, right? And how you get average? You have to call your mean, right? Now you are not done here still. So this will give you your marks by optional subject. And so say group df, give anything, and then what you can do on this group df, right? we are going to look at uh, IP part of it, right? Because there are so many groups, AI, IT, and so if you take IP, you'll get the marks obtained by 89, right? Is it correct? Look at this. IP 95, IT 80, right? So 80, 95, and 92. Okay, these are the three. So, correct? It will come to 89. Okay. Display the total number of students in each class where the number of students are more than 2. So, what you can do? Display the total number of students in each class. So, how you'll get it done? Group total, right? So, again, you call your group by, okay, and this group by will happen by class, right? And so on this class, what you are doing? Nothing. So we actually, again, you can take just the class part of the column, and then we call our aggregate, right? And to get the total number, what we have to do? Call count, right? So you got your group to total. Now what part of group total you want to show here? Your group to total where this is greater than 2, right? So what is the display the total number of students where group to total is display the total number of students where group total is greater than 2. Yeah, we have made mistake here. So only 11 is having 3, 10 is having 2. So this is correct. The second one is display the maximum minimum marks secured in each optional subject. So what we can do here, the maximum and minimum in each optional. So say we are actually having grouped optional, right? And what we can do here, df, so your data frame group by what it is asking for, the maximum is each optional subject, right? So just take it optional, uh, and in this optional we are going to take our marks, okay? And which aggregate function we have to apply? The aggregate function that we have to apply is max and mean, right? And then we are going to look at your AI part of it, right? So simply filtering it out on this one. Oh, it's gone. Oh, this is interesting. It automatically detect or so what we are looking for is our optional where each optional subject. Oh, we are already here, right? By AI, IP, and IT. So okay. So with this we come, close to whatever you had in 2023 paper. We will actually do another couple of review for your past year question paper. And I think if you can solve confidently your Python and SQL related things, then other than that, you just have few theory related things, right? So you'll be able to actually kind of score well in this. Thank you. Do subscribe and like my channel, and see you in our next review video.